that sound for that time too, you know. Grimes is where they all meet up usually every so often.
Wells. Last couple times.
I was supposed to get a shower. Yeah, when I heard them engines bang, I go, oh, I got a roll.
Yeah. My mother-in-law lives in Tennessee. We go down there and visit. At that time, they were restoring Glacier Girl, P-38.
Yeah, I remember that.
Pulled out of
the Glacier up in Greenland. Yeah. Matter of fact, that guy spent a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, that guy passed away.
$2 million.
That guy passed away, and then his wife sold the plane.
It's down in Texas.
I mean, he knew he was doing it because he just loved it. But they had to go 200 feet down in this glacier, and he spent like over $1 million something.
But what's nice
just to get it out of there, not to transport it, just to get it out.
Well, what's nice if you go up to Grimes, you got to see them rebuilding a B-17 up there.
Really? But that would be nice. That guy's got the shirt.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Oh, is it?
No. This is one of the shirts for the Double Dog B-25.
Blue. Okay. Oh yeah, I saw it taken off over here.
They were out there on the ramp begging for money for the fourth Quonset. Over there from
Fourth Quonset?
Yeah, the fourth.
Oh, you mean the addition they're going to add on? Yeah. They need to, but I tell you what, when I was there in 92, 93, when I was shooting up the police, I brought some peppers down. We were going through there, and it was, you know, just everything was piled in the four chambers. But then I came back.
They're still south.
Wait a minute.
They're lining up on the museum.
This part here runs east and west, right? And then they've got north and south.
I mean, I always thought this was
Highway 4. Yeah,
I always thought
north,
this was
straight north. So this is not quite. This is kind of like
Northwest.
No, now they're banking back this way.
Probably northwest,
east, northeast.
The buildings are kind of run roughly.
Well, I go by the runways, because usually runways are north and south, but you always get that one that connects the triangle. You always get one that's a little
Well, this main runway does not run north and south.
No.
It runs east-west.
Yeah, watch yourself. Yeah.
Well, that one actually has. Well, I mean that one.
On
the
dangerous.
original
Well, it
layout
has
was
that other one that
three.
runs north and south, but then you got this main one that runs east and west. Yeah, most people, you got to watch, man, the crossing depends where you're at. Well, you know.
Nice, yeah, nice little crossover right here.
There's 18.
Yeah, I remember flying, coming down and tail end. I'm sitting in the back of the aircraft looking at the grass, the signs, and the lights, and then all of a sudden it straightens out.
Now they're circling down. See, that looks like it's more over 75. That looked like.
So, did you ever miss your time as a loadmaster?
I wasn't a loadmaster.
I thought you were.
There should be a reserve base there along
Well, yeah, there's a.
Air National Guard.
Air National Guard.
Well, they were talking about cutting slots there too.
Oh yeah, they already have.
of them.
They've already done that last couple of years ago. They really shortened it. I mean, they got a little fighter squadron, but I don't know what's left.
Well, the fighter squadron is transitioning to UAVs.
Oh, are they?
The last report that they issued about a year or so ago.
Right.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and actually, the old airport down in Wilmington,
Two different
where,
groups are supposed to be.
DHL, some of the big cargo carriers used to be based out of there. They're going to be moving a lot of. Or at least they're talking about moving some of the R&D and stuff to that airfield.
Well, they're getting permission to use the airspace down at.
So yeah, don't let the real estate go to waste. Yeah, you got a runway and stuff.
The runway's already
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Well, they actually use that airport as part of the new Avengers movie that's going to be coming out next month. They actually filmed a few scenes down there.
Hollywood, man. You know what? I get tired of them.
Well, it's supposed to be.
It's nice that they can use the real estate when you got a runway in place like that, a tower. So that's a good thing.
Super rare to see anything taken off of this thing.
Well, you know what? It's kind of weird. You're right.
They had to land something big one time a few years ago, and they had to go up the hill to make sure
Yep.
it stopped.
That was
But they landed a few things for the
taxi.
museum.
They brought the C-141 in.
Well, that one actually didn't have much of a problem coming in. I think it was the SR-71 when that came in, just because how the high landing speed.
I took him out of school in order to go over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually,
And see, when I was a kid, we grew up here.
Oh, is that right?
When I was a kid, I grew up down here, and we had planes here all the time.
See, that's a good day when you encourage cutting for something historical, you know. It's a history lesson, man.
They might be approaching now.
We're kind of
they are.
4, 10, 12.
Well, when they
12 in the first
They
group.
still got them 2 or 3
1, 2,
stragglers.
3, 4.
Should be 18.
There's only 12 in this first tight group.
No, he said, Shay said they're going to have 18 for the original
16.
Raiders.
Oh, I got it.
16 to simulate the Doolittle raid.
Have a 20 pass.
But they're sure not going over the city. I don't know what they're doing, but they're not going.
Yeah, I used to see.
No, this is the pass over there.
I don't know what they were doing out there. Maybe they were trying
Just
to
warming up.
That's not over far enough to be over the city. That's
No.
It's over the top of the city.
That regular number you said Doolittle was 16.
16.
18.
16.
Yeah, 16.
16.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 15. They had one spare. All the losses like that.
17, 18.
Why not? If you get more power.
Yeah.
Like 4 of them that are really strong. It's the poor guy. And then look, we got the things up there crisscrossing.
Yeah, they're all checking them out.
You'd be kind of stupid
Right.
to try anything in this crowd.
It's like a thief. They always go for quick opportunity. You never know. You got some people out there that are whack nowadays. You don't even know what their motives are anymore. They just do for kicks.
This down the news today. Some lady
It looks like these might be a little closer to us this time.
And the lady was walking out with a baby, and she shot the lady and took the baby.
Yeah. Well, there's also a big meat market, not only in prostitution, but with kids in South, Middle, Latino, Latin America, and
Come by a little faster too.
Russia, or not Russia, Asia.
There's 19 up there. Wait, 5?
Now, will they all return to Grimes at one time, or will they go their separate ways?
They may go back to Grimes to refuel.
Oh, they do?
They're going to land back here. They landed yesterday, that was it.
You just don't see that.
Yeah, it is bird dog up there, dog. Get him.
I heard they might do a missing man after this.
Oh, is that right?
It's taken
Yeah,
off
those,
there.
those,
A over
yeah,
there.
these buildings were, yeah.
That's what I heard, Area A
early,
first.
early
Nixon
70s.
administration is when they built the first Quonset here.
Well, actually, there's a building that's right over along Springfield Street that was before the one over in Area A. That was like,
I wish I would've brought
it was
my
like
dad
right,
here
right in the
before he got really
20s and 30s, and then
Well,
then
he
they
would have loved to see this.
yeah, that one was in the 20s and 30s, and then they closed it down and used it as a, you know, because the war effort, they needed the extra buildings. Yeah, everything got moved up to the Area A through about, I think, mid-60s, and then they moved it down. They left, and they still came in like third place.
I bet,
Maybe.
I bet you're right. I bet they're flying over Dayton now.
They're right
They're
there.
way down there, okay.
Well,
Isn't
there's
Dayton
one
over
down
that
there.
way, right?
Well, yeah, that's a little bit too far
kind of in that
south. It's
general-
more this
Dayton's
way.
over that way, right?
Well,
Yeah,
it's more
roughly.
this way. It's a little.
Yeah, all around that way.
Yeah. Okay, so
If you come down.
I wonder if they're going to do that. Would be
sometimes
nice
you
of them to
see
do that. And go up to Illinois from there.
Probably some of the people walking around the city dinner like, what the heck's going on here?
They had an urban assault exercise here a few years back, where they just had all the Marine helicopters just landing in the fairgrounds right in the middle of downtown. So you have,
Oh, yeah.
you have 3 or 4 helicopters, gunships, everything just screeching in and doing their thing. And it's quite the reaction on the local news.
Oh, wait,
that day,
that
Liberty.
looks like they're coming back.
Those are the 4.
Okay. They probably broke off. Then.
Like, we're done using our fuel. One of those 4 are from the Commemorative Air Force.
I did notice that the Commemorative Air Force had at least 4. They may have had 5 aircraft here.
You know, one of the guys on one of the message boards I'm on, I was posting photos on, he was like, wow, I didn't even realize there was that many B-25s left in the world.
Well, it's a lot of those light medium bombers to be used for like transport and
Yeah.
fire bombing. I think.
Well, over at Grimes, they have an A-26 that was a fire bomber at one point.
And a transport before that. Here he goes.
Just noticed I got a hole right here.
Hold the picture.
Heck, there's